All right, looks like we live. I don't know how to fix that. My overlay is doing a lot. We're trying to upgrade our system here, you know. We want to be good. That's what we're trying to do here. Oh, I don't want that. Oh. All right, we're trying a few things. I'm not so sure I'm in love with this. Not so sure I'm in love with this, but we working on it. I like that. No, I think we're gonna go with I like the overlay, but I don't like the tag. I'm trying to set it up for y'all so you know this is how we're gonna do it from now on. We'll make it pop for you guys. Want it more professional. Definitely looking to add that layer of professionalism. I don't like the background now. So what I need to do is I need to turn that off. And then we're gonna get started talking about this Trump thing. I thought I had it and we having some technical difficulties. That's all right. I'm liking where it's going. I don't like the virtual background. I'm not in love with the virtual background. So I want to turn that off. And then we can get started. I'm definitely not in love with this virtual background. Let's turn that off. Yeah. This is and I just gotta figure out that one last piece and we're ready to go. And it keeps flashing at the bottom. I don't know how to do it. I'm liking the virtual background to be honest with you guys. I like this overlay. but I don't like the tag. I don't know what that is. I got to figure that out. But I like this. See this right quick. I'd rather it in red, but that looks super professional to me. I just want to stop that pop up. I don't know what that is. So y'all are working with me in real time as we're getting ready to discuss this next portion of this Trump administration problem, which to me seems to be a problem. Maybe I can't even say maybe not to some of y'all because there's enough stuff going on right now that the entire nation, if you're not alarmed, then I don't know what's wrong with you because we need to be alarmed right now. We have to be. There's a lot going on. I hope y'all didn't really think Trump was going to meet Putin and it was going to be a ceasefire. Let's start there. I pray that you guys did not think in real life that that was an option. That was not going to happen. It was a decoy, a red herring, a joke. There was no way that that was going to happen. Nobody really thought that. Like nobody really thought that. Let's be crystal clear. There was no option where we really thought that was going to be the case. No one believed that. Well, we didn't believe that. We knew better. Anybody who listens to me on my podcast knew what was going to happen. We did not think for even a moment that that was an option because we talked about this. All right, nah, I'm not liking that. Still working on it. Trying to get it to do something it's not doing. You would think this would be easier. I thought I had it and keep thinking I have it and it's not working. And it's rather annoying to me, to be honest. I don't want it as my background, that's for sure. Thought I had it turned, I turn it back off. Arg. It's almost right. We're gonna stick with this. Or maybe this. This is really what I want. That's what I want. And now I just need to figure out how to turn off my virtual background, and I'm good to go. Because Putin, Trump is Putin's whooping dog. Oh, I said it. No, mainstream media, what? Like, I hate this virtual background. I need to turn the virtual background off. I don't want my virtual background on. Let's turn that off. Gotta come here to do it to make it work. Like, y'all giving me issues. Y'all making it hard for me. I'm about to tell my people, and I'm trying to figure out how to make that tag thing disappear. That's the only thing I got left. That's what I'm trying to figure out how to do. You see something? Oh, man. Where is the tag? That's what it's saying. It's the tag. Then I'm ready to go. So we're going to get into this. But we got a lot to talk about today. Trump, man, he's keeping us busy. They like, yo, Trump isn't evil. And then he does something evil. Like, the man's evil. My co-host doesn't seem to think so. God bless him. God bless America. God bless all you people. I just got some my tea. Trump is doing too much. We are in trouble, America. Do you know what a police state is? While I'm waiting on my co-host, let's get into this. Let's see what a police state is. I want to share this with you guys as I attempt to upgrade. I don't. I want a definition from somebody important. Merriam's dictionary works. While we're waiting on my code, I just shrink my window. I want to shrink my window. I want to share my window. I want to maximize and discuss this a little bit because we need to understand definitions of words. When I'm listening to people from the other side, you know what these people actually say? Nobody cares about those words. Nobody cares about the definition of them words. They literally are just like, oh, y'all are stupid. And we're not stupid. Look, pay no attention to that. I'm a regular dude. I'm from the hood. I'm from Southside Queens. I grew up with 50 Cent. I know what them streets look like. You heard? I'm not just some rich kid. I went to regular public school. I got shot at, I got stabbed. I'm a regular person. I avoided prison. I served our military. And now I'm looking at what's going on. And I just want to, like, yo, they basically saying, oh, we're getting an admission by the Honorable Dion Powers decided to join us a few minutes early. Well, that's a good thing. Welcome, Dion. I guess you heard enough of me ranting. You was like, let me come in here.
Yeah, it feels good to be home, and also I see some new branding here, so no more virtual
I'm
background.
working on it. It's supposed to work for both of us. I see you don't have it on yours. So I did something wrong.
Well, I don't think so. I think that's only for your screen, for your branding. I have to do the same on my end. So you have to send me like a template or something, for me.
All right. Well, you gotta download the overlays.
But then again, another thing is you would have to also create the zoom border around the whole effect, So if I
Let's
come
not
in
do
and
that on
then,
here now. We can figure that out.
yeah, like
Because
StreamYard.
we're live. We got a couple of thousand people on already.
Do you hear my AC in the background?
I do not. Do you hear mine?
No.
No? Yeah, there we go. All right.
Thank God, keep it on. Yes. Woo.
Well, welcome. For those of y'all, well, we got a few minutes before we start. We got 2 minutes. We're getting ready to jump right in.
We
Dion
got
came in the
five
nick of
actually.
time. What's up?
We got 5 minutes. No, now 4 minutes. 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
You're supposed to say that 4 times. You said it 3. So now
Yeah.
that was like a discombobulation. Yeah. I'm hoping that you can enhance your background at some point. I mean, you probably don't have to do a virtual one, but I got some notes today. We'll talk later.
Okay.
Because right now we got to talk about what's going on with this Trump situation. We got 4 minutes. We can start talking now, then we can get deep in once everybody's on. Because we got some discussion to talk about today. Your boy Trump likes to keep us busy, doesn't he?
Well, he has to keep the world. That keeps the world busy. Let me. I'm trying to find the link. Okay, I found it.
Keeps everybody busy. That is the truth. In the live, we won't be switching in and out and doing all of that. I don't even believe I have that capability. We got about 2 minutes. You're gonna give me 1 minute and I'll be right back. And then we can jump in. Cause not only is he, I mean, oh man, there's so much. I did that. Oh,
Stay tuned, family. You're going to be on the adventure island of a situation, as always, with Dion and Liam. It was great to be back in America. Not really, no. I wish I was back in Ghana. That's just me. Stay tuned, family. We're
the
about to get
moment I
started.
was away, I was listening because that's my part of my job. Let me say something about what I just heard. So, the man who represents the American First Party is not happy being in America. That says everything we need to know about the American First Party. We're not even happy to be here. America First is party feels America so bad they'd rather be someplace else. I don't even know what to say to that. That's everything. That's it in a nutshell. I'm done. Hands washed. That's America First. America's great. We love America. Oh wow. I got some stuff to get caught up on. I want to see this video that says that they caught Trump cheating for the election. Not that I haven't been reporting all along on the math, quantitative data that shows something is very, 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 very wrong with the election results. Because, math. The math ain't math and is I cannot remember the name of the actress, but it was put very, 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 very well. The math ain't mathing. And it made a lot of sense. So I got about 2 seconds. I'm gonna do this and we're gonna get going because it's that time. I'm excited about today. I got some good news earlier today that happened Friday that I am dying to share with you guys. Thank God. It because things were going very, very badly, but the courts are not just keeling over to Trump, apparently. So there is some good news. Let me do this and we're gonna get started. Some very good news because what was going on had me more concerned than a little bit.
Wow, 2K watching right now, family, according to this on my phone.
Yeah. We have a lot of people want to talk about this Putin taking over DC thing. I mean, Putin taking all
Who
that's
killed over DC? Oh my
Oh,
God.
how did I get to Putin taking over DC? Let's walk that backwards. Putin controls Trump. Trump controls DC. Putin
Welcome to
controls
the think
DC.
tank. Welcome to the think tank, where warmongering is our industry. We love wars here at the think tank, don't we? Not peace, especially if Donald Trump is involved. We can't call peace. He doesn't. Back to you.
All right, you know what? We're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this. Welcome to the think tank. We use creative thinking, deductive reasoning, and just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased logical conclusions. Now, I was pitching a few of my random thoughts before this went on, but if you're here because you love Trump, needless to say, you don't have to worry. We have the Honorable Dion Powell, a MAGA
Hey,
Trump conservative who loves Trump. And now I'm going to allow Mr. Powell to introduce himself. Dion?
hello, family. This is 78th Assembly District Leader Dion Powell back here with his constituency in the Bronx, New York, from by way of Ghana. I'm a political consultant, strategist, all-around civic educator here in New York City, and I'm here to let you know that hey, our president's doing the damn thing, but this media is going to make you think that he's the most evil, wicked man in the world. But if Trump wins, we all win. If you think about it, and that's what the president of the United States is for. Back to you, Leo.
That is all true. I can't argue with a single thing you say. If he wins, we win, except for none of that's true. So
Oh boy, here we
where do we
go, family.
begin? Where do we begin? I don't even
Yes.
know where to begin. Well, let's go down our list. Let's start with wow, where do we start with? The debate podcast, elections, gerrymandering, and representation. Trump can't win. Trump knows he can't win. The Republican Party seems to know he can't win.
Oh
So they
God.
want to cheat. Do you disagree?
Very much so, because the Democrats gerrymander all the time. The media doesn't use that word. The 2020 census was nice and messed up in the Democrats' favor, and that's how we're here. They're just trying to level the playing field. If you think about it, Democrats, the rules are great when they don't apply to them, and nobody's over the law unless it's them. We gotta make sure Donald Trump loses. Even right now, though, he's looking pretty good by the numbers.
Wow. Your math teacher just shot herself in the head and jumped out the window afterwards.
How? I just explained to you the math of the 2020 census was wrong. The census itself admits that it was wrong, and all that information data was skewed to the Democrats' favor. So they actually picked up seats they probably shouldn't have had. They actually probably got more resources in states and less in other states than they shouldn't have. Blue states had the upper hand, but red states got the low end of the stick with the last 2020 census. Again, for reapportionment and redistricting is based on what? The census. And that's what they're going back to the drawing board. But then again, tip for tap, California, New York, everybody else wants to redistrict and gerrymander now too. So they have to use it for everybody.
Okay, so that is, I don't know where you even got that. Even Fox isn't spewing that kind of nonsense. But let's dig into that a little bit.
It is.
Oh, Fox is now saying ridiculous stuff like that. That's to be
2020
expected.
census, Leo. So civic education technicalities we need to inform our viewers. Look for the 2020 census and how the results were wrong. But
I'm gonna give you a chance to explore that on screen where you can share in a moment. But before you do, I would love to bring in, I don't know, facts first, because facts matter. Up until Trump made a phone call, I need 5 beautiful seats in Texas. Give me 5 beautiful seats. We need 5 seats. To the mayor of Texas, Mr. Abbott. Abbott was happy with the fact that the gerrymandering in Texas was as much as it was. To the viewers who do not know, and you, Dion, who I'm sure doesn't know, there are actually more black people in Texas than any other state in the country. The largest black population in any state in the country is in Texas. By the way, second is Florida. So when you're gerrymandering out where there's no black representation in the state with the most black people, maybe, just maybe, you're doing something wrong. As a matter of fact, it's so egregious that what they want to do is just take away the Voters' Right Act. But they don't want to take away the whole Voters' Right Act. For instance, the 5th section of the Voters' Right Act was struck down years ago. The 5th section of the Voters' Right Act said basically, now hold on, this is for education and entertainment purposes only, and because I'm not a legal expert, maybe I should bring up evidence of what I'm saying. Voters' Right Act, Section 5. And I can almost guarantee I know what it's going to say.
I'm sure something racist is going to come out of it. Well, I'll wait for you.
It's only going to be the facts. So, Section 5 of the Voters' Right Act. Oh, it didn't come up yet. Oh, now there's a surprise. I thought it would be faster. Oh, I missed the share button. There we go. Section 5 of the Voters' Right Act of 1965 aimed to prevent voting discrimination, requiring certain jurisdictions with a history of discrimination to obtain pre-clearance from the Department of Justice or federal court before changing their voting laws or procedures. This means that any proposed changes from redistricting to polling place relocations had to be reviewed to ensure they did not have a discriminatory purpose or effect. The current status. The U.S. Supreme Court, in its 2013 decision in Shelby County versus Holder, the Shelby County decision, invalidated the formula used to determine which jurisdictions were subject to Section 5's pre-clearance requirement. In other words, the requirement that said, if you've been racist in the past, we want to check, make sure you're not being racist now, was struck down more than a decade ago. Now, so that hurt tremendously the Voters' Right Act. It still stands, but it's hobbling. And so it's still preventing Texas from being able to redistrict the way it wants. So what they want to do now is go after Section 2 of the Voters' Right Act. Section 2 of the Voters' Right Act, enacted in 1960, we don't have to read all that, that's just when it came to be, prohibits 2 types of discrimination. Discriminatory results. Voting practices that have the effect of denying equal opportunity to racial or language minorities, groups in the political process, even without proven discriminatory intent. The discriminatory intent. Voting practices enacted or maintained with the purpose of disadvantaging citizens based on race, color, or language group status. Where's the current thing? Let's just say, so right now, so Section 5, where if you was racist prior to this, doing racist stuff, you can't just jump up and redistrict. We want to check you, was struck down over a decade ago. Now it's like anybody that's practicing racism now, we want to take that away too. This is the protection of blacks and minorities, blacks and browns, and beyond in the Voters' Right Act. Now, why that's important? Texas can't redistrict, gerrymander, call it what you want, especially mid-decade, which is more than unusual. It's basically undone. But they want to do it now because I need 5 seats. Now you're saying that the Democrats have wanted to do this all this time and Democrats do this. I do believe that while Democrats were in power, they brought up a resolution in the House to prevent redistricting without a committee to oversee to make sure that it wasn't done the way the Republicans are doing it now. Every Democrat voted for it. It's what the people wanted, but no, not one Republican voted for it. Instead, they're taking to court to try and strike down the only protection that blacks have left. And beyond is Latinos and browns and everybody else. And I'm going to finish and I'm going to pass the mic, right? That's what's happening right now. And in Texas, the state with the most black people out of any state in the union, the second largest state in the country, is fighting to take away the protections that the Voters' Right Act that was fought for and earned in 1965 by the likes of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Mike is yours.
Listen, family, this has nothing to do, in my opinion, much about anything when it comes to accessing the rights of voting. The man said in one breath that, hey, this state's populace has the most black people in it than any other state in the union. So once again, these people still vote no matter how the lines are drawn. So far, the lines are drawn in such a way that all the conclaves that have mostly black people get more representation by vote, theoretically, in Congress. Now that they've redrawn the lines, it might be a little harder for just black votes in one area to vote for a black elected official. But mind you, they say a Republican black person wins. They're not concerned about the black Republicans. They're concerned about Democrats overall, because black Republicans are the real threat to anything in this equation. So just imagine the lines are redrawn, restart button, all these elected officials have to run for re-election again in different areas. They don't have to live in that area by law. They can live anywhere they want in the state. But still, the black vote exists. It's just that the lines are making it more sporadic. But hey, if these elected officials, black, white, Democrat, Republican, did their job or not, it's up to the voters to put them in. So that's my point. No matter what political party, even if there's more registered Republicans, if a Democrat, black, Republican, black, if they get elected, it's up to them to do work, regardless.
So you just went around explaining how gerrymandering really works. So first, the Texas maps are already gerrymandered against black people.
How?
That's a fact.
Jasmine Crockett exists. That's not true.
They are right now talking about drawing the lines to get her out of a job. That's what that's what they're trying to do right now.
Well, she has to decide whether she wants to run for election or not. She's still on the fence. And if anybody forces her to push out, it won't be the Republicans, it'll be the Democrat machine, if you think about it. Because she's not too popular.
Wow. I don't know where you get your news. Out of her mouth, what she said was that they're trying to draw her out, but don't worry. She represents her people so well, they will guarantee that she will still be reelected someplace else. They're not going to be able to get rid of her that easy. That was her words.
Okay.
Paraphrased.
Of course.
Yeah, but that's what she said. She said they're trying to get her out. So I don't know what Fox News is feeding the public. And I know that the right wing likes to talk about how do y'all phrase it? Mainstream media, as if Fox News wasn't a part of it.
Fake news is what the president would call it. Fake news, yes.
I believe the president is responsible for more fake news than any person in the history of the entire earth. I'll give an example. Let's discuss Putin. Wait, are we still? I know we're supposed to do this gerrymandering thing. Oh, I forgot to mention North Carolina.
Oh, really?
In 2000, didn't they gerrymander out 3 seats?
2000 or 2020?
I said 2000. I meant 2020. Thank you for the correction.
Didn't they gerrymander 2 seats in North Carolina?
3.
3? I don't know. I have to look into that.
Well, look into it. Oh, well, we got
Damn, that
Chris
internet be
Butt.
lying.
What happened?
I said, damn, that internet be lying. Go ahead.
The internet be long. You want to share it from your screen? Because
The one that I wanted to share was how the 2020 census actually was in Democrats' favor and not the Republicans. That's the one I was sitting on this whole time.
go for it.
Thank you, kind sir. Let's see. All right. Is this what I want to show you, Prime people? Yes, here we go. All right. So this is an independent watchdog. Shout out to Microsoft Bing. The American Redistricting Project. I'll go with this. In 2024, yes, they're going to probe it. Their house is going to probe it. And according to this, remember, June 13th, that's my birthday in 2022, it says 2020 census counts, errors, and correctional apportionments. That's a nice vocabulary word, right? All right. The Census Bureau released the 2020 census estimated overcount and undercount rates by state derived from the 2020 post-enumeration, big word, survey. The PS is used to estimate the accuracy of the population figures reported by the decennial census and improve the Census Bureau's counting operations for future censuses. Basically, it's an internal audit of itself, of the census, right? According
When
to
did that occur again? When did that audit occur?
2022, the census happened in 2020. And so now in the report, oops, I'm sorry. Derived from this. Yes, 2022 census released the 2020 census estimate overcount. Okay. Now, the accuracy of the population figures reported by the census improve the Census Bureau's county operations for future censuses. According to the report, 14 states are estimated to have statistically significant net overcounts or undercounts of their state populations in the 2020 census. States with estimated overcounts included what? Delaware, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New York, Ohio, Rhode Island, Utah, while states with estimated undercounts include Arkansas, Florida, Illinois, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Texas. Now, what does that say? That says that mostly blue states were overcounted, which means they'll get more congressional seats, and red states were undercounted, giving them less congressional seats based off that data, which is not supposed to be biased. But according to this audit's report, it happens. And here we are.
That's math. Can't argue math.
Exactly.
Listen, I respect math. Let's do some other math.
Yeah,
Cause
there's some other facts up here.
yeah, I mean I can't argue yours. Gerrymandering in North Carolina. Partisan gerrymandering. In 2023, the Republican-controlled legislature, by the way, this is Google Gemini, controlled legislature drew a new congressional map which experts suggest favors Republicans and can give them a significant advantage in upcoming elections. Democrats introduced a bill, the Fair Maps Act, in both the state House and Senate to establish an independent redistricting commission, but has not gained Republican support and has stalled. A lawsuit filed in federal court alleging that North Carolina's 2024 election maps are racially biased and dilute the voting power of black voters. This lawsuit impacts the 2024 elections is uncertain, but advocates are calling for maps to be redrawn before the 2026 elections. Oh, somebody wants something fair. North Carolina Supreme Court had previously struck down maps as violating the state constitution, but its composition shifted in 2022, and the new Republican majority reversed those rulings. The 2024 elections in North Carolina were impacted by the new maps, with some suggesting that Republican gerrymandering might have played a role in the House of Representatives results. Okay. So, what does that mean? Let's take a look. Because I don't know. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? Might have played a significant role in the seats in the House. Following the 2020 census and subsequent redistricting, North Carolina's congressional map initially yielded an even split of 7 Democrats and 7 Republicans in the state's House delegation. Oh, this is the 2020 census she was talking about, right? However, a
Yes.
later decision by the North Carolina Supreme Court reversed earlier protections against partisan gerrymandering. Now they can partisan gerrymander. They wasn't allowed to until then, allowing the Republican-controlled state legislature to redraw the maps. This new map, enacted by the legislature, led to a significant shift in the state's political landscape, resulting in Republicans likely gaining 3 U.S. House seats. Under the new map, North Carolina's delegation could potentially shift electing 10 Republicans and just 3 Democrats, a significant partisan advantage in a state that is often considered an electoral battleground. Now, why that matters? How many
Why?
seats? How many seats does the House have that put them in control? How many seats does the House of Representatives have above the Democrats, the Republicans?
Well, this is a very technical question we're going to have to get into. That's something I have to look. That's a gotcha question, Leo. Let me look it up for you.
No, it's not. I can answer it very easily. You can look it up.
Yeah,
It's
you can
3
answer it. Yeah,
seats.
yeah.
It's 3
seats?
seats.
Okay.
So if it wasn't for the North Carolina gerrymandering, the Republicans wouldn't control the House. They cheated to take control of the House by getting rid of racial gerrymandering rules. And we just looked it up. We just read it.
But you see every state, you see a single out one state. Now, let's go back where all politics is local, and let's see what's going on happen in New York, because they did the same goddamn thing because with the Democrats in power. Now, look at this. This is from 2022. New York court throws out congressional maps favoring the Democrats. They have a supermajority, but they're still greedy up here in New York. What does it say here? New York's highest state court ruled Wednesday that the legislative violated the state's 2014 redistricting reform. Now, why is that important? In 2014, we the voters voted that we want an independent commission to draw our lines. So that way it would be political. That's true. Back to this. New York State's 2014 redistricting reform, you voted for that too, I'm sure, by taking over the redrawing of its congressional lines and creating a map that heavily favors Democrats. That's a no-no. The court decided in a 4-3 decision was made after a string of lower court decisions that ordered the redrawing of congressional boundaries. The court also ruled that the proposed state Senate lines were unconstitutional. Democrats. During Tuesday's oral arguments, judges were skeptical that the Democrat majority legislator had taken the right steps to take over. They tried to take it over the redistricting process from the Independent Redistricting Commission, AIRC for New York, which was unable to produce a consensus on congressional map. So as you can see, what they tried to do was use their Democrat supermajority to push around something that we voted for to make the lines in their favor. So
wow. But if you kept reading that, I mean, you took it away. It seems like they weren't successful at it. I do believe you still have an independent redistricting committee. So they weren't successful. It did not work. While the Republicans stole 3 seats and took over the House and started passing bills like the one big bad bill.
The point is this: every state, even California, has their legislature and independent redistricting commissions, or whatever you want to call them, for this purpose. However, what political party is in power and control of that state normally has its workarounds by their own legislature and its voting power. Back to you.
No. Republican states don't have an independent redistricting committee. As a matter of fact, in the House and in the Senate, as we just said, they voted against it. They don't want it. They want to be able to get rid of black voting rights and redistrict the way they want, gerrymandering along
what black voting rights if a black Republican wins? When a black Republican wins, like a Byron Donalds in Florida, isn't that good? If a black Republican wins, aren't they in black compliance? If these lines are going that way, it's for Republican versus Democrat purposes. Race has nothing to do with it. But the Democrats.
So then why are they attacking? If race has nothing to do with it, why are they attacking the black voting rights?
How? Oh, they're just redrawing the lines. If a black Republican wins, all this is for naught. So.
What are you talking about? So are you put some headphones on? Maybe you're not hearing what I'm saying. Maybe you should use headphones. I'm gonna restate. I mean, I put it on the screen for you to read. I don't understand what's happening. They already took away Section 5, which protected against racist states doing racist things. Now they're attacking Section 2, where they're
Man.
like, yo, if they win this, they could literally just say, we're attacking black people. That's what they're doing right now. That's literally what is happening.
That's not what's
I
happening.
just read it to you, dude. I will do it again.
All right, well, long story short, it's in the power of the voters and the candidates. And again, if it's a Republican black person that runs and wins, and a majority black, the most blackest state in the union, Texas, then hey, how is it racist? That's my point.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this again for those of y'all who get caught up in the rhetoric. I'm gonna make it real simple. Here's a breakdown of what Section 2 entails. Texas is fighting, Texas and Illinois are fighting Section 2 or the Voters' Right Act. That's what they're doing right now. They're fighting it. What is Section 2? Prohibition of discriminatory voting practices. Prohibition, as Dion likes to say, a vocabulary word. So what is prohibition? Prohibition means trying to not allowing something to happen. So discriminatory voting practices. This section stops racist people from being able to tell people that are black, you can't vote. It prohibits any voting qualification, the prerequisite to voting, or standard practice or procedure that results in a denial or abridgment of the right of any citizen of the United States to vote on account of race or color. Let me break that down. A denial or abridgment, let's take out the abridgment. A denial, because the or means that it's either or. So we don't need to read the abridgment. It results in a denial of the right of any citizen of the United States to vote on account of race or color, or against members of a language minority group. So that counts my brown brothers as well. So by trying to fight,
how is redrawing the lines preventing anybody from voting? That's my question.
Okay, you're really not listening to what I said. I'm gonna do this again because apparently you're not understanding.
Maybe it's just me.
And maybe I need to explain better. So the Republicans are fighting this war to stay in power on multiple fronts. Redistricting is one way they're fighting it. Striking down the Voters Registration Act, the Voters Rights Act, the VRA, is another way that they're fighting it. They're so terrified that they're going to lose power. They're fighting to illegally try and stay in power on multiple fronts. Not only are they trying to gerrymander, but they're attacking black and Latino votes. They're doing both. It's not one or the other. They're doing both. There's literally a lawsuit trying to stop the second section of the Voters' Rights Act. They're literally fighting on multiple fronts to try and stop our votes. Would you like me to pull that? I'll pull that up. Why not? Because apparently I got to explain all of this.
I still don't see the obstacle of anybody voting. So
you don't see the obstacle of, wow. I get it.
I can see that everybody's trying to be up in arms and fearful, but a lot more black people like me have found each other.
Up in arms and fearful.
It's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. So keep on scaring.
Wow.
Donald Trump.
Keep on scaring. Okay. No, you're counting. See, if you're a low educated person and don't have an education in politics, neither of which apply to you, that rhetoric will work. But here's what's going on. Numerous legal challenges and lawsuits around Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Numerous lawsuits. There's a bunch of lawsuits right now trying to strike down the protection that black people have to vote. Numerous lawsuits. There's a lot of them. It's not one or two. Multiple lawsuits surround Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which, practices or procedures that discriminate based on, which prohibits voting practices or procedures that discriminate based on race, color, or membership in a language minority. Lawsuits challenging redistricting maps or large election systems that may dilute the voting system or minority or groups. Maybe you don't see it, but AI says it's also there. Voter suppression. Challenges to laws and procedures like voter identification requirements or restrictions on ballot collections that might disproportionately, affect minority voters. Recent developments. This is important. Because I happen to know I know what's going on here, so I could read the first line and tell you it's important. Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals rulings. In a significant shift, the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals has issued decisions in 23 and 25 ruling that private individuals and groups cannot file lawsuits under Section 2 of the VRA. What does that mean in English? That means that you don't have protection from Section 2 according to the appellate court. The courts have ruled against people being, what that says in English, in plain, simple English is, the courts have said you can't go to court and say they were racist, that's why they wouldn't allow me to file my suit. That's what that says in plain English. You can't go to court and say, well, they didn't allow me to go to court. They didn't let me to vote because of racism. You can't do that anymore. In more than one ruling, they're literally saying we can discriminate against you because you're black. That's what that says. And the courts have upheld that, which is nothing compared to what they're trying to do now. Actually, it's exactly what they're trying to do now, but they're trying to do it at a grander scale because they've already succeeded in 23 and again in 25.
I disagree with that. And so far,
what do you mean you disagree with it? That was in black and white. You're going to disagree with facts? How? Please explain.
Sure, exactly. But again, Leo, it doesn't refute the fact that nobody's being affected by redistricting in their voting. Once the lines are redrawn and people try to go vote, if there's any obstacles, then that'll be a problem. You muted yourself.
I'm sorry, I was talking to somebody off camera.
Okay, well, basically, voting has nothing to do with this process. If anything, you could argue that, hey, the Republicans are taking the power away from the voters to decide what the lines are. I don't know, but anyway, this has to deal with redrawing the lines for the representation. It's up to the voters to put in the elected official. Now, mind you, again, the voters can vote for a Democrat or a Republican, but by voter registration numbers, more likely a Republican will win. But then again, how's it racist if a black Republican wins? And then we have to wait until next year when people actually vote to see what obstructions pursuing the Voting Rights Act were violated. So,
you know, it's funny. You became so defensive that I didn't even get the chance to bring up the fact that the Republicans are actually not leaving it in the hands of the voters and they're taking control because they're so terrified, while the Democrats seem to be so confident that as Governor Newsom of California, the largest state of the union, is like, well, we're going to redistrict if Texas redistricts. We're going to fight fire with fire. Even at that, Governor Newsom said, we're not going to be like the Republicans. We're going to let the people vote for it. We're not going to cheat and take away power from the people. We're going to let the people vote to fight against the Republicans, while the Republicans can't do that because they know they'll lose. That's a fact.
Well, actually, in California, because they too have a Democrat majority, they're going to put this up for, I think, referendum. I could be wrong. If the people vote it down and say, hey, we're happy with the lines there are, it's going to be a huge embarrassment to the Governor Newsom and the Democratic Party. So they hope and pray they're trusting the voters of California works out, because California now official employment and #1 in homelessness. So I don't know if they're happy over there, those voters.
Well, I have two things to respond to what you just said. Number one, it should be in the voters' hands, and that should be undisputed. America first, guy. Secondly,
okay,
you're right. You're completely right. So California has the second largest economy in the world, the fourth largest economy in the world. I mean, it's the United States, there's China. I forget who number 3 is. Number 4 isn't the country, it's California. This state has the fourth largest economy in the world and one of the highest homeless rates in America, tent city, disparity between the wealthy and the poor. It's number 1.
They're #1 in homelessness. And guess what, Leo? #1 and homeless veterans in the country as well.
Yeah, that I know about. That is something that is a problem with this country. The largest state having the most is a representation of the problems that this country has, and something that Democrats need to deal with, which is why they don't have support the way they could. The problem with Democrats is what you just stated. It is my problem with Democrats. I am on your side with that.
Ooh.
But the Republicans are not offering something better. What they're doing is worse, which is why the shift is going to a Democrats. Because
really?
Yes. Do I have to bring up stats?
Please,
hold on. Is it time for stats?
How are the Republicans worse? Please tell me.
I mean, Trump is so terrified about the Democrats. Listen, he's so terrified about what the Democrats are going to do in California and that other states will follow. He tried to intimidate and bully the California voters already. It's not even time to vote yet. He sent in the Marines to intimidate people. Governor Newsom holds a press conference. He sends ICE agents to Governor Newsom's press conference? How can you possibly be aboard with that?
The American people voted for immigration reform, and that's what they wanted to see happen. Now, two things happened at the same time, causing immediate uproar. ICE being there, Newsom's announcement, and immigration overshadowing his announcement about redistricting referendum. Fine, but that's what the American people voted for, and they're very happy with this immigration stuff that Trump is doing.
No, they're not. Actually, he's underwater with immigration, along with the rest of his policies. I'll bring up the numbers in a moment. How can you be happy with him trying to intimidate the governor of a state by sending ICE agents to his press conference?
Well, again, they're trying to intimidate him with these global countrywide protests, aren't they? And trying to strong arm him. They try to throw the man in jail on a campaign route. They've tried to kill him. So, hey, I guess.
Who tried to kill him? Whoa, that is, you can't even say that on here. Whoa, disclaimer. This channel does not agree with the statement that was just said. That is absolutely crazy. You just said that. Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry. I'm talking about the botched attempt that he got hit in the ear. Remember that situation? Whoops, sorry.
Wow, that's where we going with it. Okay.
Let's go easier. Let's go easy.
Wow. I mean, talk about gaslighting at the next level. That's insanity. Oh, you said that. I can't believe you said that. All right. So, Trump's immigration numbers, a snapshot of the second term. The second administration is seeing significant changes in immigration enforcement, which increased arrest and detention alongside a reported decrease in illegal border crossings. We don't want to go to border crossings, arrest and detentions, deportations. I wanted his polling numbers and I didn't get that. Let's try that again. Yeah, let's see what happens here. Let's see if you're correct. Oh, overall, 42% approve and 47% disapprove of his handling of immigrations. That means he's in the negative. Support of specific actions varies, with approval ratings ranging from 39% for suspending most asylum applications and intending temporary protective status to 50% for using local enforcement and deportation efforts. The majority of Americans are not with him. While a recent Gallup poll found that a record high of 79% of U.S. adults view immigration positively, and support for decreasing immigration has dropped, immigration remains a relatively strong issue for Trump compared to others. So even though he's underwater here, that's one of his strong issues. If that's what he's doing good, that means he's doing really bad every place else, according to the numbers. Now, I was going to go into the Shelby decision, but we discussed that earlier. The Shelby case was the one where the gerrymandering took place in North Carolina. No, I apologize. It was the redistricting. Well, let's move forward. Unless you have anything else you'd like to finish up with.
No, please, let's go to foreign affairs.
You sure?
Yes, because so far President Trump is actually proven that why he needs that Nobel Peace Prize now more than ever.
I'm sorry, that was good. Go ahead. I apologize. That was great.
Yes. So what's
That was
him and
that was
Putin
gold.
are cool, calm, and collective. Zelensky, whatever. But yes, this war can be over sooner than later with his leadership. And as you can see, it's all about talking and just chilling and cutting a deal. Nobody has to die. Anything gets blown up, etc. Back to you, Skip.
That is actually one way to look at it. I wonder if there's another way to look at this.
Always.
What has Trump accomplished?
But you
Next
asked me out of the
question.
whole deal?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So far, he's the only one that's able to get Putin to the table to have a dialogue out of any country in the world.
Wow. Yes, he did get Putin to come and sit and have a conversation.
Number two, Russia actually has the upper hand on this war situation. Wouldn't we agree, sir?
Absolutely. Even though the U.S. has been supplying Ukraine with weapons, even though it's going through the
And that's
UN,
bad, by the
and we're
way.
getting paid.
That's bad, by the way. Trump, again, that's bad. United States supporting Ukraine weapons. Again,
Why
where's
if
Trump
why if
going?
the United States is getting paid? Why is
By
it
who?
bad? Why is
By
it bad if
who?
the United States is getting paid? Trump seems happy with it. Why are you against Trump?
Well, the thing is, yes. But the point is this: we want to end into this war. Secretary
Why are
of
you
State.
against Trump?
Well, I don't have to agree 100% with the guy. It's not a
Okay,
cult.
fair enough.
I disagree with Ukraine. I disagree with Epstein, and I disagree with Israel. Those are three areas that I disagree with. And I said that publicly. And the thing is, this is not a cult. People make it to be out of cult, but a lot of people, there is this tension and people speaking out of things, but we're still not upset enough to go into the hands of the Democrats. So that's the point. And again, Trump is talking.
That's actually not true. Want me to bring up stats? We've done this
Sure,
already.
sure.
Keep going while you're keep going.
Again, the media is fuming, which is a good thing. Anytime the media is upset at Trump, that means he's doing something right. Think about it. The media is upset and complaining and like, oh my
Wow.
gosh, Trump was doing this. Trump's obviously doing something right. Again, they're nitpicking. The man's having a conversation with Putin. Putin seems to be cool. All we need is ceasefire. But anyway, that being might say, we all know Zelensky's going to have to get something up. Putin doesn't have to do much. NATO not doing his job. It should just be dismantled, I guess. But so far, Trump is the only person that can negotiate anything. Good luck, Europe. And then
Well,
again, I think Marco Rubio said it best. In this military conflict, America really doesn't have much to worry about. It's Europe that has most at stake here. Everybody around Ukraine and around Russia, those are the people that really need to be scared and try to make something happen. But President Trump's doing the best he can. Back to you.
so for kicks and giggles, World War II, you could have said the same thing. That was what was believed up until the United States finally had to join because, you know, somebody taking over the rest of the world puts the United States in danger. And so if the rest of the world's
But
in
guess what? Well, what's changed now? All these countries over there have been through World War II, and their military and technology and intelligence up to par. So they too can join Ukraine and fight Russia, whatever they want to do. And America can just sit back and see what happens. They want
like
America to
we
do
did
all
in
the dirty
World
work as
Wars One and
always,
Two.
spend its budget as
Like you're
always.
saying that you're not a person that the stove is hot. Please don't touch it. Oh, I'm sorry about your hand. Listen, reports from 2024 and 2025 indicate a nuanced and shifting landscape of party affiliation in the United States, suggesting that while some Republicans are shifting towards the Democratic Party, it's part of a larger, more complex trend that includes shifts in the opposite direction and increasing numbers of independents. Some movements away from the Democratic Party has been observed among Black, Asian, and Hispanic adults in recent years, though Democratic affiliation generally remains higher than Republican affiliation within these groups. A recent analysis in California, we don't need that. That's California. It's going to say Democrat. While white voters without a college degree have become more Republicans, white college-educated voters have moved in a Democratic direction over time. We know that already. Gen Z's support for Democrats narrowed by 2020 and 24, but recent numbers suggest Democrats are gaining some ground with this generation. Basically, what these numbers are saying is that people are starting to shift back Democrat, and it's possibly, not definitely, because of the policies of our present administration.
Well,
So,
then once again, with redistricting, with so many increased Democratic registered voters, you got nothing to worry about. So,
well, that is the reason that they're redrawing the lines. That's the entire point. That's why they have to redraw the lines, because the
all
numbers.
these new registered Democrats that are former Republicans are going to be within the lines that actually hurts more than helps, I guess. But yes, let's go on.
If that's how you want to paint the picture to the public, but if you're deeper into the red states, then when they draw the lines, they're drawing you out. That's the reason for the redistricting. Putin says he wants to arrange a trilateral meeting with Zelensky. That means all three of them there. Trump walked out of the meeting talking about success. Putin actually said if Trump was in office, this war would have never started.
That's right. Thank you. Anybody that knows history on their brain, like, you know what? Maybe Trump is right here. That's why he should get a Nobel Peace Prize for his first 4 years of no major military conflict, and another one if he resolves this one by being an intermediary. Yeah, that's it.
So let's break
Well,
down
Leo,
this
don't you
meeting a
believe
little
that?
bit.
Well, Leo, don't you believe that statement to be true? Don't you agree that Putin saying that if Trump were in office, this would have never happened? Don't you agree? As if Joe Biden were lost in 2020 and Trump would got reelected, don't you agree that this war would have never happened, like Putin said?
No,
Why?
I'm glad you asked. Let's take a look at what happened in this meeting. Is this the same Donald Trump that couldn't believe that his friend was sending missiles to kill people? Is this the same Donald Trump that said that when he goes into this meeting that a ceasefire had to take place or to be strict consequences? Is this the same consequences? Is this the same Donald Trump that initially said that he was going to bring sanctions on to Russia like months ago and keep pushing the line that's going to be another 30 days, another 60 days, another 90 days, another 2 weeks? The same Donald Trump that has not enforced a single thing against Putin, but wants to meet with him on American soil to have a meeting where he got nothing accomplished at all, no ceasefire. Is this the same Donald Trump? Make a deal, guy? The art of making a
Yes,
deal is to get
remember,
nothing in return, is to get
that
nothing?
has nothing to do with Putin's statement. Putin said it again. If Donald Trump would have got reelected, none of this would have happened. Because think about it, Putin and Donald Trump had an excellent working relationship during his first 4 years. Russia didn't invite anybody. So that's the point. If you look at it critically, Putin is right. If Trump got reelected instead of Joe Biden, this war would have never happened. That's a fact.
Okay, so here's another fact. Every single government that has looked into the Russian collusion, everyone has come up with the same result. Russia cheated in 2016 to get Trump into office. Every agency.
That's great.
In,
That's great. But you're neglecting one very important point, which is collusion. Did Russia and Donald Trump collude to make this happen? The answer is no. Donald Trump didn't have anything or even knew that was going on at the time. So that's incorrect.
well, every single government agency, all of them, without fail, have concluded that Russia cheated to help Trump. So, do I believe that Trump is innocent and didn't know anything? No, I'm not buying your Brooklyn Bridge. I don't want the Brooklyn Bridge. No, in a box this small, you think you could sell me anything? I'm not buying it. if you want to purchase, I got the deed, and it's not the whole British, the deed, so you can just own it. You know what I'm saying? And I got it because my cousin's uncle's mother's sister's daughter was the great great granddaughter of the person that built the bridge, and we own a portion of the bridge. You want to buy it? Yo, I give it to you. I got a discount. I give it to you for 15 cents because you'll buy anything, right? No, you're not buying it. Well, I mean, Russia colluded to help Trump,
No,
and Trump didn't know about it. And Putin is like, oh, well, yeah, if Trump was in office, nothing would happen. But so far, the sanctions he promised haven't gone down. There's no ceasefire. The war keeps getting worse. But yeah, if he was in office, none of this would have happened. I don't buy it at all.
You're the only one that doesn't. Many people that hate this man, but anybody from a brain from here to Mars can see, you know what? Donald Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize because him and Putin, and also Kim Jong-un and the rest of the dictators in his first administration, everybody was just chill. Now he has to try to clean up a mess that the previous administration has made. So yes, Putin is correct. If Trump won in 2020, this would never happen. The next thing is, so far all those countries like this one, with all its interrogations, cannot prove that Donald Trump colluded with Russia to win in 2016. That's a fact. Russia, sure, you can prove all day long that they made him win, but did Donald Trump say, hey, Putin, nobody, oh pal, I need you to make me win. Find me 4 seats. Find me 2 votes. The answer is no.
Oh, we're not even going to talk about finding the votes. He is. So a man that's so corrupt that he can call and ask for votes, a man that's so corrupt that he can call and ask for seats, didn't try and collude with Russia. The same guy who was on TV talking about get me those emails, Russia, and then them emails turned up. That in itself was him going to a foreign government to try and influence the election. That's what that is in plain language. You can't deny that, can you?
Yes, I can. Because again, there is no trace of collusion between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin to steal anything in 2026.
No, they were just doing it because they're nice guys, and no, Trump being friends with him, as you said, they were friends.
We
He need
interfere with a lot of elections around the world. That happens all the time. Just because Russia did it this time and Trump won doesn't mean that Trump worked with them. Now it'd be more believable if Hillary Clinton, who has a political past and international history of relations, that she contacted somebody to help her win. That actually is more plausible than Trump, who's the political novice.
Wait a minute, I'm confused. You have to explain something to me. So Trump, who has a parent from Russia, who's friends with the president, doesn't have any affiliation, and they cheated to help him win, and he was cool with them afterwards. And even though every single government agency said that he did it, Trump is like, I have a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith in my government, but I have a lot of faith in
Once
my.
again, they can't prove, like this government, that he worked with Russia and colluded with them. That's a fact.
They can't prove it, but if your entire government is telling you that Russia did it, and your response is, "Oh, I trust Putin. He's a nice guy. He was very believable," is your response? I think that you need a laxative.
Oh, God. Shout
You
out to
disagree?
Robert Michael. Shout out to OGTV, who I know, Emily, Catherine, and Chrissy J, who are in this chat right now.
Oh, I'm
And
not in the chat. All right, thank you for bringing
dropping
that
more
up,
comments
Lee.
in the chat, people, because
I
Dion can't
apologize
do
about that. Thank you, Dion. I'm off my game. By the way, if you're liking
Right
the
now, we have
content,
over
like,
2,000.
share, subscribe.
We have over
Oh wow, yeah, Emily, thank you
2.5
for coming.
2.5 thousand viewers. So hopefully at least one of them can agree with me.
I'm sure a lot of them do, because you do get a lot of love. Emily, I'm always happy to see you. Thank you for coming. You're a consistent supporter. Love having you. Thank you, Chrissy. You always on. I appreciate you. OGTV, wow, from Ghana.
Yes,
Thank
I'm making
you.
new friends all the time.
All right, all right. Robert, what's up, brother? Good to see you back too. The topic today is I'm sorry, we were talking about, I apologize for that. We were talking about Putin and Trump, DC's takeover, and Newsom now leading the heir apparent lead for the Democratic Party. Okay. Trump always finds a way to make himself the center of attention. I think it's because he's trying to distract from the fact that he gave Ghislaine Maxwell permission to get a work release. So the day after he sent troops to DC, the day after he sent troops to DC and took over the national police the police force in Washington DC. Ghislaine Maxwell got a work release, or she got access to get a work release, where she went to a prison. She got shipped from being in a federal penitentiary to a federal, basically, camp, where she's surrounded by nothing but girls that she can start recruiting from again, being that she's an offender, an SA offender of girls.
Here we go.
This is the facts. This is what she was convicted of. So now she's there, and now she's the first sex SA offender in the history of the planet that ever got that, because it's illegal for her to be there. And it happened to be right after, no, I'm sorry, it was the day after she got that, and she got this the day after she met with Trump's prior attorney, who he keeps close at hand, to his right hand, second highest man in the Department of Justice right now, by the name of Todd Blanche. She meets with this guy. Everybody's like, "What? Why are they meeting?" And we're like, "Oh, because they're going to cut a deal, and she's going to do a sweetheart deal afterwards, and they're going to let her out. And she's going to get a partner in the census community." The day after this meeting, she says, "Trump didn't do nothing." The day after, she shipped to this camp, and out of this minimum security penitentiary, I want to get my facts right, to this low security penitentiary that is the one that every female in the country wants to go to, because it's the lowest security, where they get to get 12-hour work releases, which she's been approved for, and go out into the community and go out and get a job at, let's say, I heard it put like this, where she can go out and get a job at Starbucks, literally. Then she just goes back to prison to sleep, basically. She can get she's approved for 12, after this meeting with Todd Blanche, and she said what they wanted her to say, she got approved for a 12-hour work release. And then what does he do next? He sends the police, in a couple of days, he sends the police to DC. He sends the National Guard to DC. He takes over the DC police. And the day after he does all that on the low, that's when she gets the work release. Or gets approved for a work release. And nobody's talking about that, because we're talking about the meeting with Putin. We're talking about the DC takeover. And this is ways for him to distract from the fact that he is giving Ghislaine Maxwell anything she wants and trying to do it on the low, because he doesn't want to be connected, even though he sent 1,000 FBI personnel to scrub his name from all the Epstein records. Why did he have 1,000 of them? What is he hiding? This man, I've said it before, has outright admitted to being an SA offender in public. He said he could grab a woman by the private area and nothing happened because he got money. That's assault. That's SA. That's schmeck's assault. That's what that is. Period, bottom line, full stop. He's admitted to being a predator. So if he's already done that and that's okay and he got voted in, the question is, well, damn, if that's okay, what the heck is in these files that he's going this hard to hide? Before he got elected in 2016, there was a young lady who had a lawsuit against him. This lawsuit was that he molested her at 13 years old. And his attorney at the time, who now is strictly against him, is like, "Oh, nah, I followed the leads up on her. And, she didn't live where she said she lived. So she was terrified for her life and gave a false address. And this was the reason that they dropped the case." This lawsuit was brought up 3 times. The reason she said she dropped it is because she was terrified for her life. This was brought up in an interview by, oh God, I can't remember his name, the lawyer's name. Oh, Michael Cohen. Well, Michael Cohen admitted to all of this. Michael Cohen was his fixer at that time. He was the attorney that made things right for him. He admitted all of this happened. This came from Michael Cohen out his mouth himself. Michael Cohen said the 13-year-old girl, and he said he sent a private eye to go find her. Michael Cohen said this. This is public domain. This isn't me making it up. This is Michael Cohen. And now he's trying to hide what's in the files. Oh, by the way, it happened at Epstein's house. I should throw that out there. So these are facts. That's out of Michael Cohen's mouth, by the way. Michael Cohen said all of this. And then said, well, he sent a private investigator and couldn't find her. And then she said that she was intimidated. Those were her exact words, intimidated, and she dropped the case. So I believe that what we're watching is a distraction, because if there was one 13-year-old girl, it was 100 of them. And he doesn't, and that's why he sent 1,000 agents to clean his name out the files, because he's all over the files. If he needed 1,000 agents, his name must be in a lot of different places. There's no other reason you need some, I'd take the papers and run it through AI, but, AI makes mistakes. Dion, what do you think about all of these facts that Michael Cohen dropped?
Michael Cohen is a questionable character if you look at the relationship between him, Trump, how they parted ways, how he went to jail, I think, and then came back out, became a commentator, makes his money that way now, and gives his opinion. That's what I think about Michael Cohen. Now, the next thing is with this whole Epstein—
Hold on, before you go on, I have to ask a question about that. I want to be clear. Are you saying, oh, hey, Chrissy J, my bad, I didn't give you a shout out of love? Are you saying that you believe Michael Cohen was being dishonest?
I don't really believe anything that guy says. Again, you, the viewer, have to look at his historical relationship with Trump, how they parted ways, what he did, what he said when, him going to jail, fearing that Trump was going to get retribution, now being a commentator on all these platforms, making his money, tell all books. And you'll see if this guy's to be trusted with saying anything. That's how I feel about that character. But
Well,
the Epstein situation, again, I'm not happy, but a lot of people aren't happy. But for me, I'm not happy in the sense that it's not released out there the way people want it to be. But then again, other things were released: Martin Luther King, JFK, RFK Sr. But again, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a priority for me other than like resolving peace with Ukraine and Russia, which Trump seems to have a pulse of. I think that's something that we should celebrate.
so here's what I just did.
What
I
did you—
posted where the interview could be found, who did the interview, so that you, the viewer, if you're interested, I sent you to somebody else's channel to go see this interview.
Oh wow, Michael
And you could
Smith
take,
and Katie Chung.
you could go look at yourself and make your own decision. I, after watching what I saw with this interview, am 100%, because at first he didn't want to talk about it. She kept pressing him very professionally over whether he knew anything about Epstein. And for the majority of the interview, he was like, there's no tie to Epstein, no tie to Epstein. And finally, she broke him and he admitted to this case. So it wasn't like he came on there trying to smear Donald Trump. He was trying to hide it. And that's likely because he was the fixer on the case and he's associated with it. But that's just my opinion. Again, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. But you can watch the interview and see what you think yourself. Because based on that, it does appear that Donald Trump has some skeletons in his closet.
Like we all do. And they try to pull every skeleton out that man's closet, especially his taxes. Remember they came for his taxes the first term? This is a whole big nothing something that, hey, it'll come out eventually. But in the meantime, we have bigger
Can I
fish to
wait?
fry.
If it's a nothing burger, then why was he trying to claim that was the biggest thing going on for 4 years? So first he's claiming for 4 years is the biggest thing happening. Now it's nothing
That's
because
just
he's
Trump
implicated.
being Trump. That's just Trump being Trump. Let's move on.
Woo! Republicans first in the corner. I know you're not a Republican. All right. Okay. Case against Trump, Section 13 dropped right before elections due to threats. Michael Cohen's involvement noted. Oh, I have a video. I have the video. I'm not going to play it. I have the video. I do have the video. It is right here. I'm not going to do that. I do have the video. If anybody wants to see it in the comments, I'll play it. Other than that, I'm going to keep going. Maybe I'll post a link in the comments. Yes, let us post a link in the comments. Oh no, this is her being interviewed about the but they play the majority of the video here. There's a link. So I want to share this.
Don't forget to share the sound.
Oh no, I'm just gonna post it in the comments. I'm gonna let okay, I could do that. Let me see if I can. Is this? No, that's not. I'm not going to do all this now. I don't want to bore the community. I'd probably hold up. I got the time. No, I got the timestamp because I'm a professional. I'm just gonna. If anybody wants me to play it, I will. But other than that, I want to move on. I don't want to get too tied up. It's getting late, and I don't want to run forever. But if it's requested, I'll definitely play it. Where were we? Oh, wow. I didn't get to that. I skipped this. Oh, so Donald Trump is now saying that he wants to send the military into blue states. Let me cover that. It's important. They're supposed to go. They're attacking same-sex marriage. They're attacking now you got J.D. Vance belongs to a church.
Okay.
His church is against the 19th Amendment, the females' right to vote. He's literally a part of a church that doesn't want females voting. So now they're attacking the black vote, the Latino vote, the female vote. And J.D. Vance has come out and said it himself. What do you think about that, about the female vote?
I think that just like a lot of other things, any attempt to try to do something will be unconstitutional, and the Supreme Court will uphold the United States Constitution as is. And if anybody wants to change anything, they should go about amending the United States Constitution and stop trying to pass all these acts with an expiration date, like the Voting Rights Act. Just amend the United States Constitution. They did it for the women's suffrage. They do it the free stage, these white guys back in the day. If you want your abortion to be your legal God-given right by the Constitution, just amend it. Look at the Constitution and actually see how you can amend it. Where's mine? I'm back home. It's somewhere here on my desk. But yes, that's how I feel about that.
So your feeling is he can say what he wants. The president can say what they want. They don't see. Now, here's the thing. I guess this is where I have to educate you. This is a role reversal. It's a role reversal. It's kind of weird. Okay. So you do not have to amend the Constitution. You don't. That would be the way to change it permanently. But with a super court majority, you can look at anything in the Constitution, let's say an amendment that's already there, and without needing 2/3 of the states to amend it, the Supreme Court could interpret the law differently. They could look and say, I think this means, and whatever they decide it means in their opinion becomes how that law is interpreted. So that law can be interpreted that women have a right to vote unless under certain circumstances, i.e. what J.D. Vance said when they changed their last name. What does that mean in plain language? J.D.'s suggestion is if they get married, change their last name, they no longer have voting rights. The man of the house gets the rights. And he went on, they asked him, he's like, yo, hold up, what would your wife say about that? What would women say? And he was like, well, it's a discussion around the table. It opens up discussions. The man doesn't think that women should have the right to vote. And it's becoming a popular movement in the MAGA party. So it's not just black and brown votes, it's women as well. You know, everything that happened in the 1960s because they want to make America great again. And when was it great? I guess when Donald Trump was a child in the 60s when no one else but white men had rights.
So bad. But okay, Leo, whatever you say. Let's go on to the next bullet. It's getting late.
This is what's going on in the news. Can you give another explanation of them
Well,
attacking the
again,
voting rights of
disagree.
blacks, browns, and now saying they want to attack the voting rights of women?
Again, how can I say it? It's not even an election cycle right yet. Well, the midterms are next year. Long story short, we know what the Supreme Court is there for. We know what the Constitution is there for. Now that the Democrats have lost, it's a big problem. When they're in power to do something, it's never an issue. So I don't understand.
Anyway, that segue really far off, right? We're talking about Zelensky.
We already talked about that guy.
Oh, good. Yes. I don't believe I put my period on when I should have stated that Putin has been leading Trump around by the collar since he's been
There
this
we
entire
go
term.
with the hyperbolic people. Listen, it's a good thing they're talking. No matter how much you think Trump is being punked, a simp, call what you want. Peace is peace. And he shows peace through strength, walks off with a big stick. Donald Trump is doing a great job for peace. He's not trying to enable any more wars like that. But yes, the man's right. If Trump got reelected in 2020, this whole military situation would have never happened. I can't say it enough.
When we first started this conversation, this channel, and every single month I told you everything that was going to happen. It's not because I'm psychic. It's not because my crystal ball is uncloudy. It's because the collusion between the two is so apparent that my 5-year-old, and she's 8 now, can see it. It's not complicated. Putin controls Trump. He has something on him, like Ghislaine Maxwell does.
Wait a minute. If Putin controlled Trump, don't you think the war been over and Trump would say, hey, take the Ukraine, let's be done, let's be friends again? No, that's not what happens.
No, what happened instead was he said, no, you can't have Ukraine except for the parts that you want. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
People are
And then he
mad.
came out the meeting and told
Trump's gonna get
Zelensky,
peace.
you should make a deal. You should give him what he wants. That's what he came out the meeting and said. You should give him what he wants. Make a deal. Anyway, I digress. Where were we? We were talking about Cohen. Candace Owens claims that Trump won't release the files. She's changed her tune. She's now saying that he won't release the files because he's scared for his life.
Could be. They probably called him to the office, like the powers that be, call these presidents, everybody else into office and, reels them in. So, again, certain things are beyond Trump. This is bigger than Nino Brown, and I agree. Candace Owens may have a point there.
I think she's the one that got reeled in, but I digress. Right-wing media covering attack on Washington, left-wing media covering the Epstein files. Is this a distraction? Well, I guess I covered that already, so I'm good to go. Let's move forward. Trump attacks the Consumer Financial Bureau, which protects against banking scams. There's a surprise. I mean, he did get 34 counts of felony involvement.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. But guess what? This is another agency that he's trying to doge and downsize and fire people. But keep in mind, like I said in the previous episode, he also is investigating banks for unbanking billionaires and millionaires for their political stances during the previous administration. So think about it. All the people.
I agree with that. I agree with him on that.
Oh, so it looks like Donald Trump is doing something good when it comes to politically motivated retribution, and all people that got hurt for supporting him or just wearing a red hat and lost everything.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair at all.
Well,
but I think going after the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which ensures that we don't get scammed, is insane.
How? It's just another agency that he feels needs to be cut the fat. You got to get fired and downsized and make it more efficient. That's what Doge is for. There's no evil, malicious intent, in my opinion, other than Doge.
Right, because every agency he's cut hasn't been affected and negatively impact. Union protecting veteran workers the union protecting veteran workers has been dismantled. Hundreds of thousands of jobs have been lost, with union protecting veterans. So veterans that had the sole job of protecting people that worked to protect veterans, he attacked that agency also. So he doged the consumers, the Protection Bureau for Consumers, and he's attacking veteran workers. This is terrible. Your defense for that? He's a, you know, he loves his veterans, right? He's attacking
Okay,
veterans.
well, let's see. Well, yeah, when it comes to the unions, you have to keep in mind that he's always big on right to work. And he's not really big on unions because, just like with the woman rink here in New York, unions can actually be a detriment. So that's all I'm seeing on the surface here when it comes to union agreements and being part of unionization. The right to work, what he did in his first administration, where unions get in the way and some people have that right to opt not to be in a union. That's what I'm seeing on the surface anyway.
So you think it's a good thing that he's union breaking? Anybody with a union job, pay attention to this. Trump is breaking unions, and this is a conservative MAGA concept on if it's good or bad. I am dying to hear this. I am. I'm really interested.
Well, guess what, Leo? Just like in New York, the nonprofit sector here in New York City needs to be unionized. Think about all the nonprofits that they're in good, making six figures, and have a lot of people working for them that are not unionized. The homeless system, especially, there's a lot of there's a lot of nonprofit agencies and contractors that are not unionized. Nobody complains about that. At-will workers happen all the time as well. So again, this is nothing to me.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I think that the people that lose their jobs and don't get pensions and don't have health coverage because they work those jobs might complain, but I guess there's always two ways to look at it. What about the fact it looks like he's trying to privatize Social Security with his new head of Social Security?
This is decades argument with Social Security. Like everything else, once the government creates an institution to help people, it's hard to take it away. The reason why Social Security exists under the FDR, remember that old guy, is because people can't be trusted to save their own money long term. So Social Security was in place as a cushion for people when they get older and they retire. That's what they fall back on because they're not to be trusted with their own personal finances. And they've always been arguing that Social Security is something that needs to be reformed. But think about it, so many people are not paying into Social Security the way they were because a lot of people are on public assistance, disability, this, that, and a third. So it does need to be reformed, but this is an age-old centuries argument. We'll see what happens.
What? I couldn't even follow that. That was crazy. Okay. Wow.
Long story short, not as many people are paying into Social Security the way it used to be when it comes to investing. Social Security is not sustainable. I think that's the point that he's trying to make, the way it is.
But it's our money that he's trying to privatize. It's our money. It's the money I've been paying in since I was of working age that he's trying to privatize and take away. It's my money. It's your money.
Well, just,
It's every
just like the
working of
post office.
you work, you pay Social Security. Anybody that has a job on the books pays Social Security.
Listen, just like the post office and a lot of government agencies, privatization is not a bad thing. Look at here in New York with the projects. Privatization could actually take things to the next level. But people are always scared of privatization because we're programmed to be scared of privatization. But yes, again, this is an age-old debate and argument. Social Security is going to be there to stay. You'll see, like always.
Well, he wants things private, but while he's making things private, what I see him doing is very interesting. He's dipping into private companies like this is communism. He wants them to pay to do business. Like take TikTok. That's not the only example. Do I have that list of companies that he's doing that
Yeah,
with?
fuck that list of companies because I saw something like that in the notes here.
I don't know where that is on the list. But um
Okay. Yes, and partnering with private companies like NVIDIA and TikTok for profit or a form of communism. So there you go.
Oh, NVIDIA, the big one. How did I forget NVIDIA? My God, do you
Yeah.
know who NVIDIA is? Do you know
No,
why NVIDIA is so important?
no, let's see.
NVIDIA is the number one company in the world. I believe they're the only company to pass $4 trillion, excuse me. They're the only company with a net worth of $4 trillion, I believe. Let's with a net a market cap of $4 trillion. Let's four oh sorry. Wow. Yeah, 4 trillion, almost $4.5 trillion. They're the only company in the world that passed $4 trillion. So him taking money from them is as corrupt as it gets. TikTok, and he has other companies that he wants to do it too. That is paying like that to play is communism. He talks about how communists, the oh man, I don't remember his name. The guy running for mayor in New York is, which is why you had to rush back, right?
Zoran from Queens, Zoran.
Yes, yes, Zoran, who happens to live in a rent-controlled apartment, which is crazy.
Yes, comes to a well-to-do family who also got a black scholarship. So he had to put that he was black on a piece of paper, get a black scholarship for college. Isn't that interesting? He's also a socialist. They say Donald Trump is an authoritarian. He never said that, but yes, Zoran said he's a socialist, like the Democrat Socialist America. So if you talk about communism, Trump doesn't profess any of that, but these guys do. They profess
Oh
socialism.
my God, I know you hate communism. I mean, so no communism. No, I know you hate socialism because you just said privatize Social Security. You're like Trump. Get rid of Medicaid and Medicare. These are socialist programs. That's what socialist. They're the definition of socialism. So yes, get rid of socialist programs like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security that we all pay into that support us. Because socialism is so evil, right?
Well, again, they want everything free. And also, you have to keep in mind this is socialism and communism in a capitalistic society. So that's going to be a huge problem.
No, I believe the problem is that the two can coexist simultaneously, and that needs to be worked out. Because why is this the only civilized country in the world that doesn't have health care for all? Why is it that in California, it's the fourth largest GDP on the planet and has the highest homeless population in the country? Why are these two things simultaneously there? Because socialist programs can be when socialist programs could be used to take some of that surplus and budget and take care of and eradicate the homeless issue. But no, socialism is evil. I get it. I get it. Uh, okay. They want to attack. They want to eradicate same-sex marriage. That's the next thing on the agenda. Do you believe that same-sex marriage should be eliminated?
Again, this is something just like abortion, affirmative action. These things the Supreme Court are going to have to push back to the states. For example,
Affirmative action
same-sex
wasn't pushed back
marriage.
to the states.
Oh,
Why did you just do
yeah,
that?
that's a mistake. All right, marriage equality for all on the federal level. The Supreme Court is saying that yes, you do not have, if they want to do it this way, they can say you do not have a constitutional right to marriage in this context, for example, amend the Constitution. And then when it comes to marriage equality, again, like all things, the laws, they can change them, and that's about it. Leo, you there?
I asked
Okay.
your opinion and you didn't give it.
My opinion is this. The people that are in power right now want to define marriage like boys a boy, girls a girl, as man and woman. So right now they're gonna do everything in their power, political power that is, to go to those definitions when it comes to government being involved with morality. That's the way I see it. Do I agree? Mm, it's again the will of democracy as it is.
Well, I got a couple of things on that. As a straight man,
Really?
um, I am a straight man. but I don't think
Okay.
that
Not a cis man.
I don't really
What are your
think that
pronouns, buddy?
I don't really think that the government should determine who can marry who. That marriage is not about love, it's a financial contract. And when you take away the ability of two people that are life partners from being able to get the legal protections that marriage incurs, then you're doing a disservice to American citizens.
Well, the thing about it is with the marriage license, the government has to get involved anyway. Whereas you can just have a civil union, whatever religious ceremony you want, and keep moving. But seeing as though you want the government to regulate the common bond when it comes to, alimony and, death and, divorce, then it has to intervene. But anyway, this is more of a moral issue that the government's trying to get involved in. Just like when it comes to a boy being defined a boy and a girl being defined a girl, and they're only
Okay,
sexes.
all right. Hold on, wait. Boy being boy, girl being girl, those are issues that mental health, whatever that is.
No, this is the moral issue for these guys in the world. I'm just telling you what the bright side says. It's a moral issue.
Right? Okay, like whatever that is, right? When you're talking about two adults who have
Oh
already
God.
made their mind up and are seeking legal protections that the marriage certificate provides, such as the ones you notated, alimony, death, divorce is not a protection. When you have these rights, these protections that are being denied to people, well, then again, it's just like the black voting right, the Latino voting right, the women's voting right. Unlike abortion, when you can say, well, I'm defending children. Do I agree with it? I think that, there's some sickos in the world. I believe both sides have a problem, and who's to determine when life starts? The Christian in their Christian life, you're supposed to get married and have as many babies as you can. And if you're not doing that, then you're not reproducing the way God wants. I think that that's a little crazy, in my personal opinion. But the legal binding contract between same sex has nothing to do with morality. If they're doing it on morality, then they're they're putting their personal beliefs, which is supposed to be
Leon.
where there's supposed to be a separation of church and state.
All right. On to the next
A
one.
legal contract. Those should have the freedom to enter the contracts as they please. Thank you, Chrissy. That was worded better than I could do it. Ha! It's a legal contract. They should have a right to enter into a legal contract without the government interfering. Well worded. So, certain costs of producers and purchases. And we did the NVIDIA and TikTok thing. It was at the bottom of the list. 15, that is crazy. If you start a company, the government can tell you got to pay 15% of you already got to pay taxes. Now you got to pay 50% of what you make also. That should not be legal. It's not legal, actually.
Well, they're going to make it legal. How's that sound? And that's what the government is for.
I don't know that's going to happen. I think there's going to be a lawsuit. Because that's okay. So the way it works, right? Now, I'm not an attorney. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. But when there's a law on the books, so when you go to court, when you fight something, when you want something legally, you have to go to the laws that are on the books and argue that a particular law that is on the books agrees with your side. It is nothing else that matters. If it's outside of what that law states, you lose. So when lawyers are arguing, they're arguing to prove that their side agrees or the law protects the interests of their client more. It's about what the law, that's what the law is. The law is the way to determine what's legal and not. And when you're in court, you're fighting to prove that you are the one following the law. And that's it. There's no more to it. So when a judge writes an opinion based on a court case, they're deciding, well, we think the law should be interpreted this way. So if the law is interpreted that way, and that becomes the mandate for how the law is going to be used, you have to argue that the way that that law is interpreted is how your argument falls under the way that law is to be interpreted. So I'm trying to figure out a way to put this in plain English. So if I'm in court and I'm trying to say that I shouldn't have to pay this extra money outside of my taxes, I have to find a law statute that says the government can charge this much and nothing else. And that's what's got to be argued and won. So I don't know the statute. I'm not going to go search for it now, but it is on the books. Why nobody's challenged it yet? I believe they will. Right now, the problem is, well, I know why they haven't. Nobody wants Trump to come after them because look how he's going after universities. Look at how he's going after blacks. Look at how he's going after Browns. Look at how he's going after the Smithsonian, where he wants to rewrite history to make white people look better and not like white people committed heinous acts, when even the majority of white people are like, nah, we're supposed to own up to our history. How do we learn? Look how he's going after the education system. Look how he's going after individuals in court. Look how he's going after lawyers. Look at how he's going after judges, and the list goes on and on and on. And nobody wants to be the target, so they're afraid to fight for what's right because they're afraid of the aftermath. Even though he's lost 96% of his cases. I'm done with the educational portion of stuff that I don't have a degree in.
I love it. Is that it? Let's see.
No, we have one more topic. Let's talk about the fact that Hurricane Erin is about to cause disaster in Florida. And we're in hurricane season and things are getting bad. Meanwhile, FEMA is going to be supporting Alligator Alcatraz. So a quick review, again, I'm not an expert. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. A quick review of how the government is going after the funding from FEMA. FEMA is not directly paying for Alligator Alcatraz. Florida is building Alligator Alcatraz out their own pockets, and they're going to FEMA for reimbursement. The same way someone goes for reimbursement if they have an issue and they have to, what is the word? It's eluding. Oh, if you get a hurricane hits your house and they give you money to help rebuild your house, instead of giving the money to hurricane victims, they're giving the money to Alligator Alcatraz, so they have less funding for people that actually have disasters, so they can put alligators around a jail. That's literally what's going on. How do you feel about that?
I think that, again, immigration is a priority. Number two, states like Florida, they already have their built-in mechanisms when it comes to hurricanes. They'll be fine. But on the same token, California, somebody reminded me, the old Smokey the Bear commercials, only you can forest fires by not putting your cigarette out there, and they can't control their wildfires. So I think you should be worried about California and FEMA's relations with those little progressive mayors, Bass, and Governors Newsom. So that's what you should worry about. So far, Governor DeSantis does a great job regulating hurricanes in Florida.
FEMA has been a very large part of how they make these preventions, or how they help people that have been hit by these.
A lot of people make a lot of money with FEMA in contracting, and a lot of waste, and a lot of miscommunication and coordination with FEMA. Remember Hurricane Katrina, my friend, and what went down then? Once again, history is very important when dealing with FEMA.
Well, I guess we'll see how Florida reacts, as well as because the
please,
the states that get hit most.
Make FEMA look silly, please.
No, I would not hope that disaster on anybody. If you've ever seen anybody who's gone through that, or a house fire like I've been through, you wouldn't say anything like that.
Again, FEMA. We're talking about FEMA. We're not talking about anybody getting injured like that. You just want FEMA to drop the ball.
We're talking about what FEMA does, and FEMA helps people who've been through the things that I've been through, the things my parents have been through with their house fire. So if you want to blanket it like it doesn't count that, I have to strongly disagree, but I've personally experienced what these things can be like. So when you're taking the funding from people that are going to need help with these disasters and putting alligators in a moat around prisoners. Personally, I think that's insane, but everybody can have their opinion.
Right. Let's see.
By the way, with the quorum thing, Illinois said, nah, we're not going to abide by Texas mandates to arrest politicians. That's not how the law works. So it does appear
Well, they're going back to work anyway because they not just the vote on redistricting, they also have to vote for some other important matters in the state that if they don't vote, a lot of their own constituents will be hurting as well. On top of that, they have to go back there to pick up their paper check because they're not getting direct deposit anymore, to my understanding. So again, besides redistricting, there's other things on the docket they must vote for that will help their constituents. So that's why they have to go back.
Wow, is that how it was reported on your side? That's insane.
Yes,
Okay,
that's true.
so here's the truth of the matter. Their paychecks was only $600 a month for their positions. That is not how they sustained their families in Texas. They had day jobs they walked away from in order to be able to fight this fight. What they said weeks ago was they needed to see what blue states were going to do. They will fight. They were going away long enough to give the blue state, they said this weeks ago, a chance to fight, and then they would go back. But they was trying to buy them time. Thankfully, a new leader has emerged or is emerging in the Democratic Party. Of course, he comes from a state with the highest homelessness in the country, so there's that. And you said that is something that I don't know if it was in the notes. That's why you said it, but that's something that's been on my mind. I want to do a whole separate video on that. That's been aggravating me because it's been going down since Governor Schwarzenegger, where California has the highest homeless rate, even though it's the fourth largest GDP in the world. However, their governor is emerging as the Democratic Party leader.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I guess. And
Governor.
It looks like he's going to be the one to fight Trump. And according to what it's looking like, actually, I would vote for him. And I don't even like him. I just, when I look at he's the lesser,
so much. That's why.
Yeah, he's the lesser of two evils.
Oh boy, here we go.
I like the fact that he's putting the Voters' Right Act to the side and saying, look, I'm not trying to attack black people. I'm trying to give the people a choice. I like that. Maybe you don't like the people getting a choice because, you're a Republican or conservative.
I'm not a Republican. You said it earlier, so now I'm a Republican.
Or conservative or whatever. Whatever your side likes. Maybe you don't like the people getting the vote, but I do.
Oh, God. Well, they voted for Donald Trump. Are you sure you want to trust these people with votes?
Well, we'll talk about that another time. Maybe they did. That's a whole different conversation. I do believe we've had this
viewers in holding.
I do believe we've had this conversation before. I am very convinced that the election was stolen.
Oh my God, that's so deranged. Election denier. I'm Republican. I'm MAGA person. You sound like MAGA. Oh my God, they stole the 2020 election. You're election denier. I love it. What else will they make your hatred for Donald Trump make you do?
I don't know. Look at facts and numbers.
Yeah, like the 2020 election had more votes than any election historically, thanks to mail-in ballots. Who knows?
So the same mail-in ballots that Trump fought the fight, you're telling us how he won? That's your story? The thing that he used to win is how he fought? Oh no, that's right. He was squashing mail-in ballots, even from the military, if I remember correctly. So that is actually accurate. Yes, even if he was a Democrat, your military, and you was in the military, and you did a mail-in ballot, your votes did not count. We're really doing this on camera now?
Yes, so it looks like maybe the election was stolen. Yeah, right. Kamala Harris lost. She was a horrible candidate with only 80 days to freaking run for office. Nobody wanted her. Democrats are not about democracy. They didn't have a primary. They screwed Bernie Sanders twice in a presidential election. So these guys don't believe in democracy. So, of course, the election would be stolen by them.
Yeah, they stole the election. That's how they lost. Got it. So okay. I think this is about it. I might have had a typo here and I try to organize everything. I messed up. But I think this is going to be about it. Again, if you enjoy the content, you want to have more conversations like this, try and join us in the chat. That's where your voice can be heard and tens of thousands of people will hear it, and we need to work together because even though we disagree about a lot of things, at least we're having a conversation.
Like
Trump
Trump
deranged.
and Putin. That's right. We're going about talking, not war.
Well, I wish Trump would have gotten anything out of the meeting other than Putin saying yes, if the war wouldn't have happened if Trump was in office. That's the only thing Trump got out of that meeting. So
We
yes,
don't
of course he
know what
came out
happened
and what did
behind closed doors. Rubio said himself, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. That could ruin the entire negotiation. So
he comes out, he says that the meeting was perfect, couldn't have gone better. This meeting was great. But the only thing that was gotten from this meeting was Putin saying that if Trump was in office, the war wouldn't have happened. There was no ceasefire. There was no second meeting. There's nothing. No sanctions. No. When he first talked about this meeting, he said he would be very upset if there was no ceasefire. Of course, there's no ceasefire. He gets nothing, and we all knew this was going to happen. Why did he have this meeting? So that Putin could tell him which areas of Ukraine he was demanding. Because I'm wrong. He did get something. He got to hear which areas that Putin was demanding, so we can go back and tell Zelensky, you need to make a deal. That's all he did. That's how he makes a deal. Yes, Putin, what do you want? Yes, sir.
say whatever you will. Donald Trump deserves some Nobel Peace Prize. And that's what I'll end with.
Wow, the most powerful man in the free world bows to a dictator. That should be the topic of this, the name of this topic. Anyway, I see that. Yeah,
Like and subscribe.
yeah. I mean, there's some seriously bad things going on. You really do need to check into the Voters' Rights Act. Like you really, 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 you don't care.
No, but that's what I'm trying to explain to you. You have to see how the census was wrong and how redistricting and reapportionment works. But that's okay. We're still staying steady over 2,000
You
viewers.
need that has nothing to do with what I just said. What I said was, so it doesn't penetrate, and that's why we say it's a cult. I'm giving you information, and it doesn't penetrate because it's not what you want to hear. I didn't tell you to believe anything. What I said to you was, you need to look at it for yourself, and you can't even receive that. You can't receive me telling
I
you
don't need to
look
look
into
at it
something.
because it has nothing much to do with anything. Because the issue of the day is redistricting and gerrymandering and why, who, and when, and how. The Voting Rights Act is just being used as a ploy to get the racial pot stirred. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
Why would they use the ability for the protection for blacks to vote as a decoy? Why would Republicans do that? That's your excuse? They're using it as a decoy. They're trying to take away black voting rights as a decoy.
Why is the Voting Rights Act only exclusively for black people? That's not true. Once again,
It's
you're
not.
putting a black
It's not.
face on a broad brush issue of access. Voting Rights Act, not really necessarily for the black people. Understand?
No, it's for minorities, but it's something that it's our only protection.
Choose. Oh God.
It's
All
our
right.
only protection.
Okay.
Okay, like I explained, you
We just
go
gotta
into
have
court.
more black Republicans elected. That way, it make everybody feel better that it is equal. Okay, we just need more black elected Republicans.
As I was saying, the way it works is you go into court. There's a law. When you are fighting, you have to point to a law that says you're right. The only law on the books that says black people have a right to vote, the only law is the Voters Registration Act. They're trying to cut the only law that gives blacks the right to vote. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, conservative. How could you possibly be okay with them going after the only law that protects you as a voter. You need to look into the Voters Registration Act. And with this, I'm going to call it. It's been an hour and a half. Hopefully, next time we talk, you'll be a little more civilly educated.
I'm trying to find the amendment here. Was the 15th
It's not an amendment.
Let's see. No, the thing is, you got to understand that just like women's suffrage, this is in the Constitution. The Voting Rights Act is just a civil rights gimmick to overthrow like Jim Crow laws of like passing a test to vote.
You just called the only protection for Black people to vote a gimmick? Oh, sugar honey iced tea.
Yes. But anyway, we'll talk about that next time. We can't be drawn into this stuff anymore. 2,000 viewers and watching. Come on, family. We support you. We love you. Keep it going.
Thank everybody for coming. We'll see you again next Sunday. There'll be some videos posted during the week. Hope you all enjoy. And everybody have a good night. Dion, we got to catch up sometime and figure out how to get you on point so that you can have your overlay.
Now what?
The think tank thingy on his called an overlay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Background, border, whatever. Okay, I got you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'll hit you up after we get off. I got to talk to you.
Well, I got to go to sleep, but okay.
Okay, we'll talk in the morning.